So this is one of the most important posts I could do on cryptocurrency or blockchain. We're going to talk about what the difference is between a coin and a token. And then I'm going to get all excited about tokenization, because the way economies are going to be distributed are going to be through tokens, and it's already happening now. So it's very important that we really grasp the concept of tokens and tokenization in the way entire economies are going to work and already now starting to work. So first, let's talk about coins. A coin, as David Siegel would say, is a general unit of value in a belief system. So a general unit of value, a US dollar, I can take to the supermarket to buy bread, or we can exchange it to buy a car. I can buy a car or a house from you or whatever. We can use the US dollar for many things, and it's no different with Bitcoin. We can do the same with Bitcoin. I can take affiliate payments in Bitcoin. I can take payments for my services in Bitcoin. I can buy all sorts of things using Bitcoin. And I'm just using Bitcoin as a general example. Actually, there are better alternatives out there to Bitcoin, but the point is still the same. It's a general unit of value in a belief system. Now let's talk about the belief system part of that, because this is really important. The US dollar, for example, exists in a system of belief. Now, a lot of people say to me, but Sean, the dollar is worth something. Bitcoin is just digital. I would actually argue that Bitcoin has more substance to it than the US dollar, for example. And US dollar, I could be talking about euro, pound, yen, whatever. But with the US dollar, the dollar, for example, is 14 trillion in debt. Yet it's not priced as such in the foreign exchange market, because we cannot allow for the dollar to become worth so much less. Why not? Well, think of the Zimbabwean dollar. What happened when the entire Zimbabwean community and global community decided that the Zimbabwean dollar wasn't worth anything? Well, we had to carry wheelbarrows of cash to buy bread. It's a catastrophe. And so with the US dollar in this belief system, we cannot allow the US dollar to be valued at what on paper it should be valued at. And so I learned this studying financial markets, trading and analysis at the London School of Business and Finance. And Dr. Jenkins, who was the lecturer at the time, showed us the calculation. And I couldn't understand, well, how is the dollar worth something? Once you accept that the monetary system is a belief system, then you begin to understand how the world economy really works. Now, Bitcoin is the same thing. Bitcoin gets transacted, and as I spoke about in a previous video, Bitcoin really grew and got adopted on the deep and dark web because it's decentralized. It needs no central middleman to run it, and it's anonymous. So people could trade for drugs and arms, etc., on the deep web using Bitcoin. But now, because it's based on this ledger of trust, Bitcoin is based on the blockchain. It's based on something that has intrinsic value to the internet. The other thing with Bitcoin, for example, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in supply, meaning that there could be no quantitative easing. Now, believe me, I do not like to talk about Bitcoin as a currency. To me, Bitcoin is not really a currency, even though it is used a bit like a currency. It's really more of an asset class. And there are better cryptocurrencies out there that could be used as a currency. In my opinion, none that we should really adopt today. But for example, you can have Dash, which is adopted in Venezuela. In fact, there are 500 merchants now using Dash, digital cash. So you can go in and buy actual goods with Dash. So point proven, a coin is just a general unit of value in a belief system. So there are many coins out there. There are many cryptocurrencies out there. If you go to coinmarketcap.com, you will see the list. But now let's talk about tokens, because this is far more interesting. A token has a specific value to it. It is also in a system. So for example, a poker chip. When I go and play poker in a casino, I need to get tokens. I have to get poker chips in order to be able to play at the poker table. I cannot actually use US dollars in many casinos, of course, to play poker. The same with a bus ticket. A bus ticket gives me the right to ride on that bus to do that specific journey, the same as a train ticket or a plane ticket. So these are tokens that we are using today. Tokenomics has been around since before the internet. But now this is how we really need to think about tokens. Tokens have a specific architecture, a specific design. You can have equity tokens. You can have utility tokens. You can have security or privacy tokens. So tokens really have an architecture and design built into them. Let's start up a cryptocurrency right now together. Let's pick Donald Trump. Trump Tower. So let's say that Donald Trump wants to license out Trump Tower, or to allow the general population to own Trump Tower. So for whatever reason, he's deciding to do that. So he wants to start this cryptocurrency. What he could do is tokenize Trump Tower. He could say, okay, you can buy X amount of tokens. These tokens will allow you to do specific things. In fact, if you own one of these tokens, up until 2020, you are allowed to rent out office space at a 10% discount. So all of a sudden now there's a property and a rule baked into this token for licensing out Trump Tower. So here I'm literally just trying to illustrate that anything can be tokenized. We can economize anything, and that's already been happening. In the next and up and coming videos, what I'm going to be talking about is some real world cryptocurrencies out there right now that are absolutely doing this. And if you think about this now, look into the future. If we can own a piece of everything, digital assets, gaming is a huge area for tokens. If you think about it in the gaming industry, the gaming currency will allow you to buy certain things. Different gaming currencies can have different properties, and maybe could even be exchanged for different games, such as Fortnite, for example. So you can buy gear and equipment, let's say in the game Fortnite. Those of you who have kids will definitely know this game I'm talking about. And you can now exchange that for, say, another game's currency made by the same gaming company. I don't know, I'm making it up. But gaming is extraordinarily big here when it comes to tokenization. Ubisoft has shown extraordinary interest in blockchain and is very much now part of building blockchain-based games. And why do that? Well, because the ledger is immutable. Remember, blockchain is a ledger of trust. Again, if you haven't seen that video, go back and watch that. So if you have this ledger of trust, now you can have this economic system built into that game, and that's the tokenization. It's the token design. You cannot take the tokens from that game. You cannot take the tokens from certain cryptocurrencies and go and buy food with them. You just can't. It doesn't have a general use case. It's specifically only for that one thing. And so now, if you're really following this, and if you haven't, go and have a coffee and come back and watch this. But if you're really following this, you can think about, well, we're going to have all these different tokens that are going to have specific properties. What if we could unite them all with one general token that would give us easy access? That's a cryptocurrency. That's a cryptocurrency that's already being designed. So you can see how the economy, the world economy system, the world economic system is going to move towards blockchain because we have the internet, and it's going to become very decentralized in many cases. So centralization and decentralization, we will talk about again in more detail. But for now, I hope you just get the difference between a coin and a token and why tokenization is just such a big deal. See you in the next video.